Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this session. This is going to be our last session, live session, that is. And barring, of course, if any one of you wants to meet, so that's still not closed, so we can meet anytime. I know some of you are actually in my astronomy 125. Others who are not, they can still reach out to basically discuss things. I know a lot of you want to do have questions about homework assignments and basically the different types of assignments. So the purpose today of this meeting is to first of all see where we stand, where we are in terms of the course, and also in terms of the assignments, what is important, what should we do, and things like that. So that's really the focus of this. So to answer the first question, we are in week basically 4. This is next week is the last week for this short session, basically very basically much compressed entire class. That's why the load was from the get-go extremely heavy because of the fact that we were supposed to cover an entire semester in just 1 month. And that's basically what the idea was. So hopefully you guys were able to keep pace and hold on for another week, okay? Because this week, actually, in terms of work, there will be a lot of things that needs to be done. And I promise that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Basically, next week we're going to be this whole thing will be done, and you will be celebrating. So this is basically the whole thing. So we are at the 4th week. And by far, this is probably, in addition to last week, are the most intense weeks in terms of work, in terms of assignments, in terms of reading, in terms of everything that needs to be done. And next week is going to be basically mainly to wrap up things. Okay, there are some assignments that need to be submitted, and finally, the last midterm, which is going to be midterm 3 is going to be due by the last day of instruction, which is the 27th of this month. So this is where things are. This is where we are in terms of time, in terms of where we stand on this class. In terms of assignments, a lot of you did not do midterm 2, which is due tonight. And a lot of you received already, or at least those who did not do midterm 2 already have received reminders of me this morning, okay? I will be monitoring this one a little bit loosely this afternoon to see if you did not have a chance to take it. And I'm probably going to remind you again that today is the deadline for that midterm. So again, midterm 2. So let me share with you the screen so that we see where we are. So we are actually, I'm looking at it from your vantage point, from the student perspective. So midterm 2 is actually here on module 3, which is from last week, part 2, okay? And it's due today, okay? And it's worth 152 points. By far, this has to be done today. And as I said before, about 2/3 of the class did not do it yet. So we are kind of a slower pace than what we were on midterm 1. Midterm 1, by this day last week, the vast majority of people have already done it, and only about a third did not do it. Now the roles have reversed, okay? Seems like only about a third of the people actually were able to take the midterm so far, and the other 2/3 did not do it. So it's very, very important that you guys are doing it. Granted, and I know that's a fact, and if you're relying on it, I really want to warn you on that. It's not really good strategy, and that is one of the midterms will be dropped. Do not plan ahead to cancel one of your midterms because you never know what the next midterm will entail in terms of difficulties. So it might be not beneficial for you to do that. So I recommend strongly that you take this midterm, especially if you did not do well in the first midterm. Okay, take this midterm, and you still have almost an entire day to do by the end of the day around 11 p.m. It's when it's due tonight. So make sure you do take it. Do not, please do not start it at 10 p.m. And I know some of you last midterm did do that. And actually before going to sleep last time, there were few of the people who did not take it. When I messaged them, I think two of them told me that they were in the middle of taking it, and that's really not a good planning strategy, honestly. So I'm hoping that by tonight, when I go to sleep and I look through the midterm, that I would see nobody who did not take it, meaning that everybody would have already taken the midterm. So that's the plan. So by far, this midterm is very important, and I would recommend for you, if you did not take it, if you don't have another class, and I know some of you are already in my astronomy 125, and we have a class in about an hour from now. So immediately after that, if you have a class, if you have work, if you have to do something, take it. Very, very important. And if you have work, really, you signed up for this class, you paid money for it. So you really have to allocate time for it. You have to ask for time off to take this midterm. This is time-sensitive assignment. So this is by far the main thing at this point in terms of what we need to do. Okay. So that's item one. And I know some of you reached out to the homework, and I'm not going to ignore that point, so I'm going to talk about that. But in terms of the order of picking, the next most important thing that takes precedence over homework and anything else after the midterm. So we take the midterm. That's no question about it. That's the top priority today, okay? Especially for the vast majority of you. That's it. Nothing else, okay? Ignore what I'm about to say in terms of the second relevance. The second relevance, the second most important thing, once you do that, is to look for the project, okay? That too has tremendous influence over your grade, not as much as the midterm, but it is the next one in terms of importance. So if you're worried about the homework and you did not do the project, you have to reorder your thinking. The precedence goes to the project after the midterm. So let me find where the project is. It's the lunar photography project. It's actually from the second week, I should say, and it's in here, model 2, part 1, okay? So you click on it and you go out tonight. As a matter of fact, you really don't need to go up when it's dark. Maybe around 5 p.m., 6 p.m., worst case scenario, 7 p.m., the moon is visible. I have seen it yesterday and it was visible. Yesterday it was a gibbous. So it's slightly more than a quarter. Today is actually going to be slightly more than yesterday. So it is actually a great opportunity to go tonight once you do the midterm, or tomorrow night, okay, or the day after. You have to do it within the next 2-3 days. Don't postpone it any further. Will have a lot of effect on your grade, and it's going to make the difference between an A or a B, or a B and a C, or a C and a D, as a matter of fact. So that is really going to be that critical. So it's a whole letter grade, this assignment. It can bring you down from an A to a B, or from a B to a C, or from a C not to passing the class altogether. So this is important, but it is only second to the midterm, okay? So you go out, whether by yourself, or whether with a family member, or whether with a friend. You go through the assignment. The assignment has some prompts to ask you basically what are you looking at in terms of the features of the moon, and identify what you have seen. And then you take a picture of the moon. I know that you're not probably an expert in photography. If you are, that would be great. I would love to see that. But if you're not, don't worry about it. Take the picture to the best of your abilities and upload it, okay, to Canvas, along with the assignment that you have in there. So that is basically the purpose of this project. So you answer all of the prompts related to the assignment, and then you upload also the picture and you submit that on Canvas. So this is the second most important thing in terms of what remains in this class. Still have this midterm, which is due tonight. And after we're done with this midterm, we still have another midterm that takes precedence, of course, over things, okay? Is it my hand that is showing in there? Or I think it's my hand because there is my hand, so it's showing in there. Looks like some of you are asking questions. If you're asking a question, you can intervene anytime, okay? Because I see a hand next to my picture. I think it's because of me. Anyway, so the other assignment that is coming down in terms of also of a great importance after you do midterm 2 is midterm 3, okay? And midterm 3 is due on the 27th, as I said before. This is midterm is due on the last day of class, okay? Again, you still have 3 days to do it, not 3 attempts, only 1 attempt. And the review ends on the 24th, which is next week. Some of these models are closed, okay? You have this model that is closed until, it says 8 a.m. Ah, because I did not refresh my window. So let me refresh my window in here and see if it's going to make a difference. Okay, yeah, it's open. Everything is open for you guys. Okay. So you can see the review. You can see everything. The entire content for the course is available for you right now. So there is no thing hidden from you. The only thing that is not available is midterm 3. And again, that's going to be available after the 24th of this month. So after, what is the 24th? Monday? Let me check exactly what's the 24th thing here. Yeah, Monday. So on Monday at 8 a.m., this module will be available for you. However, this exam is not going to be available for you because you still have to finish this this review on this day, okay, for this midterm. So we have covered the midterms and how important they are and how crucial they are. We also talked about the project, the fact that it has to be done within the next few days, okay? I would say probably by Thursday, I would have done it, okay? The weather is great. There is no excuse for inclement weather so that you can see the sky, at least here in Southern California. I know some of you probably, those who are probably outside now, they may have issues with the weather. But again, you had plenty of time to have taken it. And I doubted that there is anywhere in the world right now where it's going to cloud for the entire month. Okay, so there is actually a good opportunity for you to have taken care of it. And if you still have about 3-4 days at least to complete the observation and then submit your assignment. Okay. So again, this assignment is from module 2, which was available on week 2, part 1. Okay. And it's due on the 26th, meaning Wednesday of next week. Please do not leave it until Wednesday because then you will have another thing which is really hanging over a lot of things, and that is midterm 3. So that's going to basically cover everything else in terms of importance. It's going to take precedence over everything. So this is where we are in terms of importance of assignment. Now, let me go back to another thing that a lot of you, not a lot of you, some of you actually have asked, and that has to do with this homework assignments. I see 4, 5, 6 in here from last week, part 3. There was actually homework assignment. And by the way, it says the June 21st, please ignore those dates on them, okay? I'm going to extend them. So June 21st, meaning that this weekend, I'm going to extend them to give you a little bit more room to submit them, okay? If you look at from last week, there is already help for this ones in here. This was a discussion from previous classes where I recorded basically how to tackle those homework assignments. So that should be plenty for you to take to try them, okay? I'm not honestly looking for accuracy as much as I'm looking for attempt to show understanding, okay? so that you really honestly spend decent amount of time reading the material, going through the assignment and submitting it. So that's really what the purpose of this homework. Again, it's to reinforce what you learned. In terms of weight, they have very little weight, to be honest with you. They're just, along with the discussions, with there are too many of them, and they would tend to average out. So at the end of the day, not a single one of them will have a lot of importance, even if you get zero on it, okay? Which I would doubt that you will get a zero unless you don't submit it, okay? So that is basically what I can say about homework assignments. So you really should not sweat over them at all. You shouldn't really invest a lot of time on them, other than the fact that you have already invested in terms of your reading, because that's by far the main thing, okay? This entire course is related to the fact that you're doing your reading. So if you're not doing the reading, none of the above will happen, whether we're talking about the midterm, whether we're talking about the lunar observations, whether the quizzes that are also associated with this class, or the all of the other assignments. And that's no exception as far as the homework assignments. If you're doing that, that's where you invest the most of your time. Then after that, if you want to, you can come in here to the homework sections and look at the solutions that were done, okay? And complete your reading. There is a lot of reading in terms of this week. And again, if you go to each and every one of those sessions that were pre-recorded from previous classes, you should see also a lot of resources and help for that, okay? So to wrap up things, we are really at the end of the class in terms of assignments, okay? And hopefully you go back today, okay? By the way, there is actually another recording in here for help with the projects. If you go through it, you will see me talking about 2 projects in there, okay? And again, this is a previous recording. One of them has to do with the lunar observations over a long period of time. That is not your project, okay? So when you go through the video there, you will see me talking about the lunar observation project, and you can skip that entire section, okay? You can skip and go all the way to where it says lunar photography. They're similar in a sense, except one of them would require extensive period of observation and documenting the different phases of the moon on specific dates. And that is not your assignment, because the entire course is within that, I mean, less than the window of observation of that project. But the other project that has to do with the one observation, basically, you go out and you document your observations and you actually take a picture. That is the one that is actually referred to in here on this project, okay? The takeaway also from this video, to be honest with you, is also how to go about presenting your project. There are different ways of presenting your project, either by filling out that PDF fillable form. And let me take the project itself in here. So I'm going to click on it from your vantage point. Once it loads, okay? And it's here talking about several things, okay? It's talking about the form, and it's talking about the instructions, and it's giving you a little bit background of the different phases of the moon, and it's giving you the same graphics of the moon, the one when it's a full moon, which is not now. But then it's naming, it's giving you the names of the different features of the moon, the different, basically, the topology of the moon. So when you go and look at the moon, you may see, for example, some features, and you may not see other features depending on how much the moon is lit. So that's what you document in there. And of course, it's giving you how the entire model is graded. So you could go in the bottom in here and upload text, basically. So you click on this and you start uploading stuff. You start answering questions. Question 1, here is my answer. Question 2, here is my answer, and so on and so forth. Or you can upload a file, okay? You can upload a file. That's also another option. Or you can upload a pre-recorded video, meaning that you go with your phone, okay? And hopefully you would have already have taken your picture with a phone or camera or something, somebody's recording you, it doesn't matter what it is. And you say, okay, here's the question, you video, you speak, you don't have to type anything. You just say, okay, here is the answer to my question, first one, these are the different features I have seen, this is the date when it was there, this is difficulties I ran into, this is what I have seen and everything else. And you can actually turn the recording device into your picture. And this is the picture that I have uploaded, okay, that I have taken of the moon. So that completes the assignment. You don't have to write a single word if you want to. Please keep it short. Don't give me half an hour video because there are over maybe 35, 36 people in this class. So I can't really spend 20 hours basically watching videos. It's going to be too long. First of all, you know it's wrong when you go that long, okay? You know it's not correct. So you really try to keep it concise. About 5 minutes, I would say it's an ideal number. Shorter than that, that's fine, okay? As long as you touch all the points. Longer than that, that's fine too, as long as it's not too long. Like I would say probably if you see yourself, you put 8 minutes on it, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, you know it's long. Don't go any further. You probably need to put these things into a summary, okay? I don't want to know really honestly what happened to the dog at that time, okay? When you were doing your observations, okay? So things like that. So it's also you could do that. You could pre-record that, or you could do this, which is Canvas Studio, which is also similar, except you're recording directly into Canvas and the file is automatically uploaded. Honestly, that's going to be hard because of the fact that you don't have a control over the timing, and it may, basically, you may have to do it several times before it's perfected, and each time it's the lead. So that is actually the most time-consuming and the least favorable one. Okay, in terms of preference, honestly, I don't care. Honestly, if you really want to do the video, that would be great. I'll take that. I love to see that, okay? So you don't have to type anything and you can submit your assignment. That's fine. That would be something that I would grade happily, as much as if somebody wants to upload the file, okay? Or I write a text. When you write a text, you don't forget to include the picture at some point, okay? Because it doesn't give you just a plain text at this point. So this is what I mean. So you click on the text, okay? And you type in here question 1, and then what your answer is, okay? And you move on to question 2 and so on and so forth, okay? Okay, I don't want to submit, honestly. Or you go to file upload, and in here, it's going to ask you to drag the file in here, okay? Or click on it, and it's going to browse your computer for the file, okay? Or web photo, I don't know what that is. If you have a phone, probably it's going to take a web photo, okay? I don't know what that is, honestly, I have never done this too. But this is basically what this is. You can drag a file and put it in there if you're using a computer, or you can browse, click in here, and it's going to take you to a folder, and from there you're going to browse your computer for it. And this one is a record media. Apparently you can record still in here or upload a media, meaning video, okay? So let me go into the file that you potentially could do. You don't have to, but you could do is this one. So I'm gonna click on it and it opens. So it's gonna open a PDF file, okay? Please don't, if you follow the instructions, it tells you don't fill it with a browser. Because some of these browsers are not really compatible, not allowing, like this one is not allowing me to do anything. If I click in here where I'm supposed to write stuff, I'm not doing that. So let me go back and do it the way that I'm supposed to have done it if I follow the instructions, okay? If I follow the instructions, I should really click the arrow down in here, and it's going to prompt me if I want to save the file, which I'm going to save, and I'm going to save it to, I don't know, astronomy. Okay, let me save it here, okay? It doesn't matter. I think this is different stuff in here, okay? I don't know if you see what I saved it or not. So I'm going to open the folder, and you probably are not seeing the folder that I have opened. And I'm going to show you the file after I double click on it and open it, okay? Okay, so let me go back into the share, stop sharing, and let me now share with you. Let me get rid of some of the files in here before I share something else so that we have a clean file. So let me share. Okay, let me share the PDF file. So this is what it recommended I do. Download the file and open it with the Adobe Reader. Adobe Reader is a free software. You can download it from Adobe basically website. It's a reader, not the full version. Now I'm going to put my name in here. Okay, I'll put my name. Okay, please put your full name. Okay, don't put just the part of the name, because there are so many people with similar first names that is confusing for me. Once I fill it somewhere on top of this page, automatically going to fill it on every single other page. Okay, then go to the next page and answer question 1. Was it a full moon? If you do the observation right now, it's going to be waxing gibbous. Okay, and I have to explain why it's waxing, because of the fact that it's lit from the west, not from the east. Meaning after the sun sets, the moon is still following it, meaning that we are in the first half of the moon, half of the lunar month. So it's increasing. The bulge is increasing. So that's my explanation that need to go there. Okay, so that's I need to write it. Or if I'm doing a video, that's what I say. Okay, it's a waxing gibbous because of the fact that the lit part was facing west, meaning that the sun, after it sets, the moon was following it. That's why it's increasing in lighting. Okay, the lit part is increasing in size. That's where the word waxing is, and it's gibbous from the bulge. Okay, then I have to answer all of the rest of the questions. And when it comes to the picture, I'm going to basically click on it and browse my computer again and find the picture and upload it and submit the entire project that way. So once I'm done with it, I'm going to save it. And once I save it, I go back into my assignment. If I can find it. Yeah. I probably am not sharing it. Let me share. Again, I go back into my assignment. Once I finish filling it out, I go all the way down and then upload a file. And I have to remember where I saved it to go and pick it up and basically here, upload it, okay? So I saved it somewhere in here. And here it is, okay? So, and then I just add it and that's it. So hopefully this is actually not a full detailed presentation of the project, basically assignment, but just to show you, there are more videos in there about the details, what needs to be done. But just to give you an idea on how to proceed with this one, there are different ways of uploading it. I know we have another class, actually some of you are in that class, who are in here right now. And unless you guys have any question, and I look forward for more questions from you guys, we're going to end this session. Top priority today is a midterm 2. The second one this week is actually the this project that I've been talking about, just to make sure you complete it. Then don't forget on your reading, which is actually very important. None of the things happen without it. And also following all of the other assignments that tend to average out at the end of the cycle once you do them, because their influence overall, basically, whether the quizzes or homework assignment or those discussion sessions, there are plenty of them. They tend to basically, not a single one of them will have a lot of influence, as a matter of fact. And like the project, which is only alone for this class, and also your midterms. Sounds good? Okay, thank you. I'm gonna stop recording and I'll see you, some of you in class shortly. Thank you, bye.